Okay. All right, is this stream on? Is this live? Is this on? Can people see it? Let's see. Can people see it? Yep, okay, it's live. Okay, we'll give this a few minutes before we begin. Let's give it a couple of minutes. All right. Okay. Here we go. All right. Give us a few minutes. So before we actually begin and do all this, let's just give this a few minutes. And also, yeah, just give myself a bit of a warm-up before we actually begin. Okay. Hey. Hey, Jake Boy. Hey, Tales for Eternity XC. Okay. Okay. All right. Yeah. All right. Hey, okay, so I'll get to it in a few minutes. I just want to give this a couple of minutes before we actually begin and all that. Just want to, like I said, just give it a couple of minutes and then we'll begin. And don't worry, I'll get to this. Just want to, take a moment to get everything ready to go. Here we go. Just getting the stream out there. Again, don't worry, we'll get to this. Again, I just want to make sure everything's ready first before we begin. Like I said, just want to do that first. So just give me a moment. Okay. There's that. Where's the today? Okay. That's that. All right. All right. So first thing I will say right now, the stream isn't monetized. Let's get that out of the way right now. This isn't monetized. I'm not going to make a profit of this crap. So that's the first thing I do want to get out of the way right now before we begin. Hello? Hey there? All right, Max has messaged me. Thanks. Stream right now. Okay. So yeah, I'm just spending the okay. Like I said, we'll get to this. Okay. Here we go. Max, now it's not the time for this, Max. Okay. Okay, so before we begin, I want to make this very clear right now about in advance. I want to remind you all in advance right now that if I do apologize if I mumble or stutter, if I repeat myself or act like, or like just stutter like an absolute moron during this whole discussion about my take on this. And I do apologize if I go on a tangent and just say all this and that and just blabber on. Again, I want to make this very clear. Like, I do want to apologize in advance if I start doing that kind of thing, but I will try to stay on topic about the whole, the whole shit show that's been happening. But yeah, like I said, this stream isn't monetized. Like I said, I want to get that out of the way. I'm not going to make a profit of this. And yeah, so give us a few moments before I begin. Just making sure everyone has got the or aware that it's going on. This is okay. Share this everywhere as much as I could. Okay. Let's see what they're saying right now. And here we go. All right. Okay. Did he get this? Did she? And also, if Ksenia is watching this by any chance, yeah, I've actually unblocked her for this one, so if she wants to jump in and say whatever she freaking wants, that's fine. She's free to jump in. 2024 is wild. Something happened, Kane? Yeah, again, we'll get to this in a moment. Yeah, I do agree, it's wild. But, yeah, I agree. Okay, so I'm gonna explain this whole thing in like 3 stages as best I can. The first stage I'll talk about in a few moments is talking about what's going on currently, about what's the absolute shitstorm about me and Ksenia and many others, and everyone coming out of the woodwork to talk about this about me. The second part, I'll talk about 4 specific points that I have. I want to like try to explain like how I seen it from my perspective. And the third stage is like talking about how I genuinely feel about this whole thing and how everyone feels about it. It's this shitstorm that's happened. So yeah. Okay. And I want to make this very clear now. I'm not gonna, pre-barricade around the bush. I'm gonna be as honest as I possibly can. I'm not gonna scream, cry, yell, or beg for people to come back or anything like that. I'm gonna try to talk about this in a calm and collected voice. Be very calm and composed about this as best I can. And just, really get that out there because I really need to tell you my side of this whole thing and, really, again, apologize for what I've done, but again, really get it out there about what's going on and how this shitstorm all started, like genuinely, because I do feel like people really need to know what's going on right now. So, yeah. So before I start with the first bit, how are you all doing, by the way? Everyone's all good here? Is everything? Yep, this is all good. Stream's looking good. Okay. Everything all good? Doing not well, to say the latest. Lately, I'm going to be making a document about how I feel about you and whatever's been going on before us. GDMs. I have a lot to say. Again, that's fine. That's totally fine, Star Washington. Whatever you want to say. Again, I'm not going to scream, butt heads, or anything. I'm not going to do anything like that. That's fine. Okay, so is everyone ready? Is everyone ready for the first bit about what's going on lately? So, are you all ready? Okay. Yes, Jake Boy said, yeah. Cy Washington, Tails 13 EXC, and all of you, you all ready? Okay. All right. Okay. Deep breaths. Calm and compose. Okay. Let's get this over with. All right. Let's begin. So, for the past 2 or 3 weeks, I'm pretty sure you're very aware about the whole shitstorm that's been going on. As you may have been aware, I'm going to drop this right now. You may have been aware that Ksenia has dropped a bombshell about me saying, how could I let something like this go over the past 2 years? As well as mentioning Gore Striker about this. And you may have seen this bombshell what's going on. So 2 months after I made my stupid fucking content cop video about her or Ukrainian Jake Paul, which again, like content cop is like the whole satire and meme, but talking about that stuff, which yeah, that's not the type of thing I'm good at or anything, but you know, we're not going to go over that. But yeah, so anyway, as before, yeah, sorry for going on that tangent before, but yeah, continuing, she dropped a bombshell about this fucking creepy art of what I did, about that this person, 8-Bit Dino or Din or whatever the name is, said this about 2 years ago, and then all this dropped by, and then the whole the shitstorm went around. Everyone's coming out of the woodwork to say I'm this and that, and yeah, if you're pretty aware, people have said all this. Like Ksenia has made her video about it. Gore Striker made his document about me, and over that, it's just been an absolute. It made a massive implosion, and it's just, yeah, it's absolutely bonkers, like genuinely. And even I'm like genuinely shocked about the whole fucking thing. Now I want to make this very. I'm gonna go on a tangent in a moment right now. So yeah, this is nothing new because for the most part, like some part, because I've had a similar feeling like this, where I've like people say things about me. I did this, and then it all explodes. Like this is nothing new. This is like what, like another Tuesday basically. But this specifically, this whole shitstorm was the biggest fucking thing that's, you know, it's really escalated and became that. And yeah. And yeah, so Ksenia has explained how her side of it, how she felt between me and her, she felt very guilt tripped. She felt very suicide baited from me, how I said things and done all this stuff, how I crawled to them. I crawled back to them, begged for them to not leave me for like 2 years ago. And then, hold on, where was it? What was that screenshot? I have it right here. She aired out things about how I think I already showed in the content cup how I blocked her and I flipped her off because I had a meltdown. This was because, what was it? Where was it? It was, there it is. Okay, there it is. Found it. It was because I had a meltdown about saying, because Joshua and her left me and I was begging for them to come back, and I threatened to hurt myself, which I actually did. I cut my arm, and I actually went through with it, like hurting myself, which was suicide baiting. And yeah, it's just, yeah, what I did was absolutely wrong. Like, yeah, even though I really was suicidal, I really was at my lowest, and I didn't want them to leave me. And it's just, yeah, sorry if I'm stuttering or that, but yeah. Fucking Christ. I mean, I get how you feel bad about me. That's understandable, but this is not about that. It's about how what I've done was wrong. And then after I... Frick, what was it again? Yeah, after all this, they... Okay, let me just remove that. Let me... 1 sec. Yeah. So during the absolute thing, it was also because Gore Striker started this. It all started with this by him saying that, imagine blocking me over a chubby bunny meme that you can't take the joke seriously and it did nothing wrong. Add you as a cameo. He then screen shared this about that. And then he says he'd possibly remove the cameo of me. And then he said that he will accept the block knowing what it is. But then less than 2 months later, the whole thing escalated. And then he made the whole document about me. And what happened now was, after that, everyone came out of the woodwork and said their stuff about me. How I'm a piece of shit. I'm a immature person. I'm all these kind of things that you're probably aware of. And where it is right now that he made the whole document about me. And yeah, after this was put up, the whole thing, just, it was an absolute shitstorm. And frick, what was it again? And okay, oh yeah, that's right, sorry. So yes, I have actually watched his document. I've watched it like 2-3 times now in a row. And I'm not joking, I really did watch it. Now, I would talk about the document that he made about me, but if I'm gonna be honest, we're gonna be here for like almost 7 or 9 hours if I try to talk about every little detail. And I want to make this very clear, I can't explain like every single little detail because we would be here for hours, and I don't want to spend like hours just talking about every little thing. But that is the gist of it, about from what everyone would see from their perspectives, like how this all happened. She made a bombshell, and then Gore Striker escalated the whole thing, and then he made that, and then after that it became an implosion. Everyone just came out and said this, and yeah, that's what happened. Yeah, so that's the gist of what it is. And then also I said things like, what was it? Saw Washington actually talked about it like privately. He told me about how, from his perspective, he's seen about the whole thing about Liza and that, and then how the lesbian girlfriend bit I talked about Wendy's and the lesbian girlfriend, which was actually Cassini actually corrected by saying it's actually bisexual. She's actually bisexual. She's black and all that, and she says the N-word. And like again, like that was a mistake. I didn't know that she was actually bisexual. That was an honest mistake. The next bit where she said, like, talk about the whole, she wanted to forgive me, and Saw Washington and Boosty came at the same time to ask me, like, forgive her. She tried to ask me to forgive her, and then I told Saw Washington saying that I told her that ship has already sailed. I was saying they hated me because I was a Russian supporter and all that, and the lesbian girlfriend bit again. Now I'm gonna be very fair, like be real right now. That I was, for that particular bit, I was in a very, very pissy mood. I was so annoyed that they just kept saying and telling me that she wanted to forgive me when I made it clear that I wanted nothing to do with her, and she kept trying to get back to me. And yeah, I kind of said gibberish because I was just in a very pissy mood. But yeah, what I said was pretty stupid about that bit. And then everything else about the whole freaking contents cop stuff. And yeah, it's just stuff that without proper context or not really explaining it in great detail. And yeah, again, I do apologize if I miss anything, but that's, again, the gist of it, the first part. But yeah, that's the first part about how this all happened. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Yes, what I did was wrong. I was an absolute piece of shit. I'm an absolute piece of garbage. And yeah, they're not wrong. They really are not wrong. But there are things I do want to explain how this escalated and how this was also a misunderstanding between me and with me and Gore Striker. This one I can definitely explain how this was a misunderstanding between me and him and the creepy art thing. So yeah, I'll get to the second phase in a bit. So what are you guys saying right now? So I'll get to this bit in a bit. I'll definitely get to that, don't worry. But yeah, that's part one, the whole thing, how it all started. I'll get to part two in a moment. So what are you guys saying? So are you going to leave YouTube and GameJolt? Okay, we'll get to that bit at the end. I'll get to the whole leaving things. Again, I'll save that for the end, but we're not going to worry about that right now. You went with a stab at the back with the content video. You could have never made the video in the first place and just moved on with the situation with Ksenia. I mean, yes, look, you're not wrong. Again, I'm not going to deny that. About. Yeah, okay, look, you're not wrong. I'm not going to fight you with that. You're absolutely right. And again, there's no excuse. Yes, the content cop was absolutely fucking stupid. Yeah, like, what more can I say, really? It was a stupid thing. Yeah, like, what more can I say, really? The video's unlisted, by the way. It's not deleted. Again, I don't want to delete it just yet, so it's just unlisted at the moment. Again, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it at the moment, but yeah, I'm just going to leave it as that for now. But don't worry. Yeah. Okay. What are they saying? Just, okay, what about showdown mode? Okay, look, now is not the time for showdown, please. I get you're curious about that, but now is not the time for showdown. Let's be freaking real here. Like, now is not the time to talk about that kind of stuff, okay? Like, all right. Okay, let me just get a drink. So that's why I got absolutely pissed off today, and I wasn't in a good mood. Okay. Okay. All right. Just reading the comments right now. Okay. Yep. All right. Just taking a moment to really think about what to say next. And yeah, I'll get to part two about what the things I do want to point out and give my take about it. So that's what I'm going to do in part two. I guess you and I have a similar anger issues. Okay, I guess you could say that, I guess. But okay. Anything else you want to say, or you're all good? I'm just waiting. Waiting. Okay, okay. All right, so, all right. I'm not gonna lie, once I thought you were cool, but now I'm not sure how to feel about it. I guess I just don't care anymore concerning what's happening this year. Yeah, look, I'm not gonna lie, yeah, what's been happening this year, so many people getting exposed for being assholes, predators, Dr. Disrespect, and all that stuff. Look, I'm not gonna lie, this year is the most insane thing when it comes to things like that, like everyone getting exposed. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie there, it's crazy, really. Okay. What's the next thing? Dev is here. Oh, okay. Oh, okay, he's that guy. Okay, okay, okay. I mean, that's cool to hear. I mean, genuinely, that is cool, but yeah, that's not the thing to celebrate about or whatever. But it is cool to know that the guy is here. That's fair enough. That's you. Okay. Okay. So you ready for part 2? Like me giving my, I'm gonna say like 4 specific things to like prove about what stuff I have about this. So yeah, yes. Okay. So you ready for the next one? Okay. So the first pointer I want to say right now is this one right here. The whole let me zoom in. So the creepy art here, this one specifically. So let me really zoom in here. There we go. So this one right here in the background, the Cassini art and the Max, the fucking pedophile guy who messed with Milo, the one in the purple jumper or clothes. Yeah, this one. So, oh, sorry, huh? Hey, I remember about the. Okay. Sorry. Now it's not time. All right. So, the reason why I made that art to begin with, and look, as stupid as this sounds, this is the honest truth right now. The reason why I made that art was because Max forced me to make this kind of stuff. Like, if you've been around with Max during this time, I'm pretty sure you're very aware how he's so demanding, and he's so picky. He wants art about this and that. And honestly, with this whole thing, he kept annoying me about it. And so I was like, fine, I will make this art of his character behind Cassandra rubbing her head, and just it's fucking creepy. Again, I didn't make this for any malicious intent. I didn't do this to be a fucking creep or anything like that. Like, genuinely, I only made that just so Max would shut up about it. Okay? That is the only reason why I made that one specifically. As stupid as it sounds, that is the honest truth why I made that fucking creepy art. Max is wild, but what about Xin the Liza fan art? Okay, so the freaking art of like Liza and her, like it's just an art style choice. Like the second point right now about the whole Liza bit, like why would I make these overly sexual, not literally over sexual, like sexual looking art of the character, is because it's just an art style choice. It's just how I make the freaking characters. Here's her right now. And yes, I actually did ask Liza personally. She hasn't really given me a straight answer yet, but it seems like she doesn't seem to be bothered or didn't seem to mind at all. And also, where is it? I have the chibi version of the exact same thing. Here's the chibi version of it. And yeah, I know it looks like weird or anything, but again, it's literally just an art style choice. And if you want me to like really reinforce this, let me actually get some other fan art of Liza. There's a fan art of this one from her old account in her 15th birthday. There's the freaking chest. There's this one. There's also this art of her from another person with the exposed chest. And another one of this as well. Sure, there may not be something like that. And of course, you know, their art style is not perfect or anything like mine's, but I'm sure you can see how they have this type of thing. I do find it a little bit. Oh, hey. Oh, sorry, huh? Hello, here. I heard about what happened. I have to ask, are you okay? Because she told me that you were disrespectful to her. Okay, I'll get to that in a moment. Sorry, but yeah, the like point I'm saying is like the art of these, like these two, and then comparing them to these. Again, it's just an art style choice. I didn't, again, make it to be, creepy or overly sexual and like this made up stuff that Gore Striker is saying that I'm a low core, whatever the frick that is, because I've never heard of that name. It's something about how you're attracted to not specifically kids, but attracted to them in like a sexualized body of a young kid or something like that. I don't know what the freaking term is, and he's okay. He's claiming like a big statement like here, like brave statement saying that he's claiming that I like little kids in things like that, and I'm telling you right now that that's not true. I don't do this kind of thing just because of that. I only just made it because that's my art style of lolcon is what the term is he used for. All right, thanks for clarifying that. But yes, that's the reason why the art of Ksenia and Liza are like that. It's nothing else. Like, that's not a hard thing to talk about or say. As stupid as it sounds, that is the honest truth of the Liza art. It's just an art style choice. That it is simple as that. Look, I understand that it may look like that, but again, look at these ones. Again, and they're not perfect art, but I'm sure you kind of get the picture. If this one, or something like that. But yeah, that's for the Liza bit. That's what I wanted to talk about. Again, I really do hope, again, as stupid as it sounds, I really do hope I can at least clear up about that. Again, it's just an art style choice. The, what was the third bit? I'll get to the third one in a sec. Let me just see what they're saying. What was it? Give me a sec. What was it? Yeah, this one. So when Ksenia found out about the thing saying, I can't believe, that makes me regret thinking about that. And he says, if I'm correct, he's a grown-ass man, saying all about that, about the art thing. So, yep, that's happened. And then jumping straight to the gun saying that I'm a creep. And then, they're all reinforcing the whole idea about how, what was it? A lot of them seem to think about the whole, this right here saying that he's scared of being exposed as a creep. A lot of them seems to think that this would be like the Achilles heel that would ruin my career. But I'm going to be honest with you right now. I kind of have to disagree. That's kind of a stupid take. Like, look, people have called me a lot of stuff. They call me, dude, you're such a weirdo. You're such a creep. And all that. Like, they've already said these kind of things before, but this particular thing about the art, I mean, I don't know what to say. Like, I kind of have to disagree about the whole thing. Again, it's a terrible take. Again, it's my view of that, but it is what it is. And what else is there? The third take about. Oh, sorry, huh? What's you saying? You could have blocked that Max guy if he was that annoying and exposed him to others. Okay, let me quickly get to that. Yeah, look, the thing was, yeah, I could have, absolutely. And honestly, like, what? He's the same guy that talks about, like, what? His character's big freaking chest and all that crap. It's just, I actually have a screenshot of that right here talking about the stupid fucking thing. Hold on, where did I put that? Ah, there it is. Give me a sec. Just reading the comments while we're at it. So the Max one is the only bad one and really shouldn't have followed it regardless. Yeah. I mean, look, I totally agree. I mean, look, again, at the time, like, I really did thought Max was a cool person and I really didn't want to, ruin that trust with him. And again, I only made it to shut him up. Like, again, like you said, I should have just blocked him. But at the same time, I didn't want to block him because I didn't want to, people at the time that did support him and were still friends with him, I didn't want to make everyone upset that I just blocked him. And they're like, dude, what the hell? Why'd you block him? And this was like weeks before, or was it a month or weeks before he was actually exposed being one himself? Yeah, so like there was a valid point why I didn't want to block him, because yeah, I didn't want to upset people. I didn't want to upset him, that he was just that annoying. But you know, that's what it is. Yeah, here it is. This is the thing that he says right here. He literally says, yeah, his character is like the only character has like the skin, chest, the visible on the boobs. It just, yeah, he's the freaking guy that talks about his character's big chest right here. And I'm like, ah, yes, it's always chest, huh? That was getting quite annoying. This one, yeah, I'm sure you're aware how he's absolutely ironic. He was exposed himself. Oh yeah, I agree. He got exposed himself. Like the week, again, just I'm gonna on a side note right now. The week after I left him, like completely left him after that meltdown in Cassini's old server, or like the fight that's going on, he was then exposed without me even being realizing, and then I was told, hey, he was exposed about this. I thought, okay, doesn't sound that bad. And then they showed me and I was like, wow, he was actually that bad. Dude, you have made hard choices. You can't let that slide that easily. Again, yeah, you're not wrong. Like that. Yeah. Okay, so what was it, the third point? Yeah, so the third point about the whole me being suicidal and all that. I think that's another one. There's also another bit of it. Let me get to let me have a quick look here. The whole bit about the more you ignore these artworks with no answers, everyone is going to think you're a creep. Like, not a pedo, but a creep. Sorry, but you straight up blocked me and just try to get along with the whole thing. Yeah, all right. That will be like the fourth thing I'll talk about. That will be like the fourth moment. But all right. So the third bit about the whole, Ksenia, like saying this, how she wanted to come back to me and all of that. Again, I've already said before, like how, yes, like I was a piece of shit. I really was. And I was an absolute immature person when it comes to like, your voice is awesome. I mean, thanks. I do appreciate that, but now is not the time for that. Yes, I do agree about the whole bit where I crawled back at them and asked them to not leave me, or begged them not to leave me. Yeah, I understand. I really do. I agree that what I did was not right. Another thing was, a side note, was the whole bit saying that I was friends with a Smiler, or Cam does anything. Yeah, look, this is the thing. This isn't about Cam. Look, yes, if I were to criticize Cam right now, yes, I'd mention the whole freaking art he did was bad. The whole stupid porn art of like tails, all that thing. Even though, again, I want to reiterate, that stuff has been around for a long time, and everyone has done that stuff for years. And even I have to agree, it felt weird why Cam was the only one to really get the boot about that stuff. And I know that being friends with him, like, or okay, more like acquaintances with him, we're more like just very mutual acquaintance. And I really was upset that Cam got exposed and the whole shit storm that happened. Yes, there are things to criticize Cam about, but this isn't about him. I know that, yeah, what he did was absolutely wrong, justifiably so. It did feel overboard about how he just, everyone overreacted a little bit. Again, it was justifiable, but the whole Cam thing, like, we're very mutual. We're not like super friends. Like, again, I don't support what he had done. Again, you can dislike what they done, but it doesn't mean you have to like straight up don't need to be friends or just mutual acquaintances. Again, as stupid as that sounds, like me and Cam, again, we are very mutual friends. like very, very mutual. Like we're mostly just acquaintances. And again, he's in the group chat with me, Tails, 13XC, and Saw Washington. Like he's in that group chat with us, and Max as well. The other Max, the bird Max, not the one in the purple clothes. But yeah, Cam is honestly, he's not that bad. Like genuinely, they're just as an acquaintance or as a very mutual friend, he's not that much of a fucking douchebag. Like genuinely. But the fact that they're saying that this is like the Achilles heel that would end my career about being a creep and being friends with him, again, I kind of have to disagree. Like this is a terrible kind of, take of it. Well, when it comes to Cam creating the con, I have to get rid of the him because so many people are starting to grow hate against him because of some choice he made in high community. Yeah, that was kind of just the last straw. A lot of people. Yeah, I get it. Look, again, I get it. Like, I've made it clear, like, there's so many art of this exact thing people have made. There's already, like, literal 18 plus artwork of Finesse even before he made this. And, look, people have already done it before. Again, I don't get why he was the one that got the boot. But, again, it is what it is. And, again, I won't judge him for it. Sure, it felt a little bit overboard in my view of it. And it really did hurt when I was genuinely just starting to become like friends with him, like really get back to him, like really. And to hear all that happen the day after my birthday, it fucking hurt. It really did. Like genuinely. And I'm happy that I am with Cam. I really am. But again, we're very, very mutual friends. I don't support what he's done. But I am happy that he's still back in a way. Again, if you get what I'm saying. Like, yeah. And again, I know that's going to raise a lot of eyebrows, and justifiably so. But again, me and him had a very long history together. And again, I am happy that we're together again, and it is what it is. All right, let me see a few things, what they're saying. Okay. Now the fourth bit about how okay. So let's get back to this again. The whole bit where Gore Striker is saying how I imagine blocking me over the Chubby Bunny meme and can't take a joke seriously. Okay. I'm going to stop him right there because he gets this wrong right from the get-go. The reason why I block him, and I feel like this is the brave statement I'm going to make right now, and this is also a bit of a theory. The statement I'm going to make right now is the reason why I blocked him is because I thought he was someone else. I genuinely, mistakenly blocked him by accident. Let me actually get to exactly when I blocked him. Where was it? I do have the evidence. I have the receipts. The evidence proved the exact day that I blocked him. So it may be something, but at the current time that I blocked him at exactly August 6, 8:27 a.m. Now, this was on a Tuesday. This was minutes before my shift at my workplace began. And as far as I can remember, because I was trying to remember, and this is the reason what happened, I was literally on the freaking toilet, like literally on the shitter, just browsing GameJolt, like last minutes before I begin my shift. And then I saw him because I mistakenly thought he was someone else. And then I blocked him, not thinking much of it because I thought he was someone else. I thought he was being a jerk. And then after that, yeah, I went to my shift, continue on, and then just forgot about that he even existed. And the only reason why I'm now telling you this is because after when Ksenia made the bombshell, that was the first time I was now learning and be like, wait a minute, that was the guy that I blocked without even realizing it? This whole thing that he's saying about me, I'm only now finding out that it was him that did this. And the exact time he made his post was 2 days after I blocked him. Let me get these side by side to show you. 2 days after I blocked him, he posted his thing at exactly August 8th, 9:11 a.m. I mean, okay, nice freaking choice. Like, that very interesting choice to post that exactly there. But yeah, after that, he made this whole narrative that I blocked him because, like, I couldn't take a joke seriously. And he was saying he wanted to get all buddy with me. Like, he just wanted to be friends with me. Let me get to over here. Did nothing. I didn't do anything wrong with you and just wanted to add you in the game. He said I just wanted to be friends with him. This was the thing. Now, he's making it sound like that we had like thousands of conversations. Now, do you want to know exactly how many times he actually talked to me? Exactly how many times? Now, all right, I'll give you a moment to guess. Like, I'll give you 1 moment. Like, this is the main reason. Sorry if it's off topic, but what happened to the X game? It's my favorite game. Okay, I'll quickly say this right now. The game is on hold at the moment because this is a very serious thing I want to talk about right now. But I'll get back to it. No. He responded at exactly 4 times. 4 times. And yes, I checked my bin. I actually checked my, like, bin to check if I missed. No, he responded at exactly 4 times about 8 months ago when he made that post. And the thing was, because we were like very mutual talking about things, I don't remember the exact conversations because let me get to GameJolt, the stupid thing. There we go. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, I did try to read the comments, like what exactly he said, but because GameJolt doesn't tell you what they say exactly, I couldn't find out what he said. And because when I blocked him, his comments disappear, so I don't know exactly what he said. But I only talked to him like 4 times, like 2 messages he sent, and then 2 replies from either him joining the chat or just saying this stuff. That was it. And after those 8 months, I completely forgot who he was because let's be real. Let me get to my follower list. The number's different. Because there's like so many followers I have, it's really hard to remember him. So he was basically just a number, and I can barely remember like, yeah, he like, again, I can barely remember like 10 or 20 people when there's like 1,000 people. So again, it was an honest mistake. So yeah, after 8 months, I just forgot who he was. And then the day that it happened, I blocked him by mistake. Again, I thought he was someone else, and because I was literally on the shitter, minutes away from starting my shift, I just blocked him and didn't think much of it. And speaking of which, the whole thing about 8-bit Dino, how he said this stuff. Okay, so here's the reason why I blocked him. He's saying this thing. I actually blocked him for an entirely different reason. I blocked him because he was actually being a jerk. 8-bit Dino was actually being a jerk to someone. I was told that block this guy because he was a jerk. I actually didn't know, and I want to make this clear now. I didn't know he made this post about the 2 art, about the creepy art and that. I didn't see it. The first thing I did when I went to his page is I did his profile, hit the block button, and that was it. That was literally it. That as far as I remember. And because this was 2 years ago, yeah, that was sending a meme. It seems so hard to believe you block someone for sending a meme. And yeah, like again, the Chubby Bunny meme, he's saying that I knew about him, all that, but because this was years ago, I forgot. Look, again, I do remember a lot of things, but when it comes to like very casual conversations, because me and him, we were very casual about it, I just simply forgot. Again, as stupid as it sounds, that is my truth. That is how I saw it. And then after that, he escalated the whole situation and he continued And when Ksenia saw that, like 2 months after he made his fiend, nothing happened. And when Ksenia saw that, the whole thing escalated. And he's making the whole thing, saying that he's making the whole thing about me. Again, it's justifiable. I get what he's saying, like what his whole post about it. I'm not going to take that away from him. Like, he does have the right, and he is in the right talking about it. But I want to really hammer this in. The fact that this whole thing escalated all because I accidentally blocked him. And it just like, okay, I'm going to make a brave statement. This is a bit of a theory. It felt like he was trying to use this as like evidence to expose me. Like the fact that he knew this and that now he's saying this like 2 days after I blocked him. Again, this is just a theory. It felt like he only said this stuff. Like he was trying to like, okay, he's like a vulture that was sitting on these mountains of evidence, and he was just waiting for me to block him so he can use that as an excuse to dump all of this about me and say all this stuff. Again, as far-fetched as it sounds, because it's just a theory, that's my theory about it, it really felt so opportunistic to do this. The fact that this happened 2 days after I blocked him, that's how this whole started and this whole shit show happened. Sorry. Okay. And then after that, everyone came out of the woodwork when the whole thing was exposed. You know, the day that the posts were made, Ksenia made the whole post, everybody came out of the woodwork and say their shit about me. They said about I'm an asshole. This, for example, I'm not going to show their names. Not surprised Kane's not changed at all. At this point, I give up trying to reach out because I know it's pointless. Again, the thing was with her is like, again, I'm going to make this quick mention. I'm going to go on a tangent. Again, I made that clear that I wanted nothing to do with her and I wanted her to fuck off. But then now the tables are turned and saying that I was the one trying to get her back for the third time. And that's just stupid. You shouldn't have made that content, cop. And look, you're not wrong. I don't remember the exact reason why. Okay, this is a really hard thing to say. Part of me did make that content, cop, to as a way to tell her to fuck off, but not in the best way possible. Or again, it's really hard for me to actually try to describe the exact word, but again, it was made specifically to tell her to fuck off. I want nothing to do with you. And like, again, even before that, that's rough, my dude. Sorry that what happened to you. And then, yeah, after the whole thing came out, again, I'm not going to mention names. People have come out of the woodwork. Like again, I'm going to make a statement right now. It really felt very opportunistic. Like the moment the whole document, her saying stuff about me, the moment, the bombshell, this bombshell dropped, everyone came out of the woodwork to say stuff about me, saying that, yeah, I'm a creep, I'm a dictator and all that. It's like there's some people that I've never met, like they're coming out of the woodwork because they heard from their mates, and they're saying like, oh, isn't he the guy that was being a dictator? Oh yeah, fuck him. And if anything else gets added to it, they believe that too. They're like, oh, what? He likes little children? He literally molested SpongeBob? Oh yeah, fuck him. Oh yeah, I believe that. And okay, side note about the SpongeBob bit. Yeah, someone that I blocked was a troll. He actually accused me of saying he blocked me I blocked him because I was molesting SpongeBob. As silly as that sounds, that's an actual thing. And I did get a good laugh at it. But the fact that they would just automatically say this stuff the moment you block them and say that, yeah, it's this or that, it's fucking stupid. And again, I really want to, I'm sorry to keep repeating this, but I really need to hammer this in. The fact that this all escalated. Yes, I threw the first punch about the contents cop. Yes, I threw the first punch. But the fact that, like Gore that Gore Striker instigated and escalated the whole situation because he said that I was this and that I couldn't take a joke seriously. The fact that he made that sound like that was he took that at face value, that I couldn't take a joke seriously, when that was not true. And the whole I made a creepy art because just being creepy, which again, that was not true. I only made that because Max just wanted Max to shut up. The fact that he took all that at face value and ran with it, and then everyone is believing it, and they're all coming in and saying that, yeah, I believe that. And the whole thing about there was like, I remember one thing, again, I'm not going to mention names, but one person saying that he had a bad experience with me because I threatened to call the FBI. My dad is an FBI agent. Like, it's the most Call of Duty, like, lobby disgusting. Like a little kid saying, I'm going to call the FBI on you. I mean, yeah, it's stupid. Yeah, look, what I said was stupid, and it's something that today we can just freaking laugh at because it's the most common type of Call of Duty thing you would hear, and yeah, rightfully so. But again, it's just the fact that most of this stuff was like 7 years ago, and with Bandy 183, again, I'm sorry to, like, it may sound like I'm throwing you under the bus of this kind of stuff, but I've seen what you said. Like, how I feel about him specifically, okay, I understand how you felt disappointed in me, and I'm sorry for, to sound bad, but the fact that how I saw it is like you made the remake of the NR1 game, which is very nice, and then when this whole bombshell dropped, which is annoying, honestly. Look, I understand your, but look, the fact that you said all this, like you said nice things, and then when the bombshell dropped, you pulled a 180 and said, "Oh yeah, fuck Kane. I never liked him anyway." Like I had high respects for him, and then this drops and is like, "Actually, I never fucking liked him anyway." And then you just clown on the whole thing. Again, I understand that you're upset, rightfully so, but the fact that most of you guys, again, not just you, but the fact that everyone just, yeah, they were just like, they had these evidence from 7 years ago and then just said that that was evidence. Another theory that I have, again, it's just a theory, it feels like because, a part of me feels like because I don't do this kind of stuff publicly anymore, or very rarely yell or act like an immature teenager, it feels like whenever this kind of thing happens, they dig it up and say that this, like, pull it out of their ass and hold that. Because look, I'm surprised that you still had this even after all these years. The fact that it's been more than 7 years, most of the stuff, a part of me feels like the people just cannot move on and just let go of the past. Yes, what I did, you were literally a minor back then. Yes, I was very immature. I was a very stupid, fucking awful person. And yeah, we're in the first stage, like third stage. Like right now, look, I agree. I absolutely agree. Back in the day, I was an absolute fucking immature person. I suicide bait, threatened people, was so aggressive for everyone. I'm not gonna barricade around the bush. I agree. I was an absolute piece of fucking shit. But the fact that they still hold on to this more than 7 years later, it really feels like they just cannot let go of the past. I've moved on from the past, and yeah, I still may be like a piece of shit, but the fact that, yeah, I get it. What I did was traumatizing for some, but the fact that they just cannot let that go and they keep re-digging up the same evidence, yeah, it's fucking stupid. Again, the whole thing felt so opportunistic because the fact that everyone came out of the woodwork to gave their 2 cents about me, and this was only once it was exposed. Like it felt like now that they're only saying this stuff because, yeah, I was exposed as a piece of shit, and then now everyone came out of the woodwork to say this and that about me, saying that I'm an asshole, I'm rotten in hell, my career is over. Again, this is the same thing. It's why it's worth looking the evidence when most of the time it's not relevant. That's the thing, like how I saw it, is like they're trying to bring this up and say that this has some relevance to what's happening today. I get it. There's nothing wrong with looking back at it and say that, wow, I was a piece of shit back then. Like, generally, I agree. I was a piece of shit. Like, there's no way around it. I was a dumb person and all that. And what I did with Ksenia, all the things that that's not, there's no way around it. The content cop and all that, genuinely, it's a piece of shit. I was a piece of shit what I did. Absolutely. I'm not gonna, pretend that I didn't do this. No, I'm gonna admit that, I was fucking stupid. I really was. And after all this that's been happening, it's just, it's stupid. Really, really, it is. And, what was it? Joshua actually has his own input. He gave me permission to show this. This is how he genuinely feels about this whole thing. Like, it's like a vicious fucking cycle. Whenever these kind of things happen, it's always on GameJolt. And all right, this is the moment that I said to this Joshua, how he says how he feels about the whole thing right now. He says, and I've chatted with him, he said, honestly, I feel so fucking trapped. I want to move on from all this, all the Kane versus the world bullshit. It makes me sick. Every time it happens, I keep feeling like I get dragged back into it. Why can't people grow up and move on? All that shit that years ago, people keep digging it up. Seriously, can everyone just shut the F up about it? I can't stand it anymore. I'm trapped between two sides. And if I pick one, I'm the one that's going to get fucked. And I explained about the whole thing how I feel. And he said, and people often forget that it's not just you. There's people like Tails13EXE, Lionel, and me. Seriously, I don't want to sound like I'm being selfish, but I've been burned out most of this because of these dramas. And every time I've been burned, I've walked away from you. I don't want to do that again. I don't want to break your heart, destroy mine again. And you know what I mean? I don't want another meltdown. I don't want to feel like a burden. Not again. And I totally agree. I absolutely agree. As, it's weird how I would say all this, like, I do all this stupid thing, and then I suddenly sound like this. I need to hammer this in that I'm done with this. I'm sick and tired of 7 years of having this endless, vicious cycle of me and the world doing this back and forth where I say this, I do this, I have a meltdown. Again, it's not right what I've done, but the fact that we all have this vicious cycle and then it escalates, everyone gets dragged in. Those that want no part of it, they get dragged into this. And it sucks. It hurts. And the next part he said about that shortly after that was, he said, I'll say this right now. I feel like I'm struggling not to cry. I'll say this right now. I'm going to stay out of it. I'm not taking sides. You and Ksenia are my closest friends. And I can't bear to lose either of you. So I'm staying out of this. Like, quiet. Also, I'm staying quiet for my own mental sake. I'll always support you, bro. Always. But I want nothing to do with this drama again. I refuse to be burned again. I talked about how I feel how I'm going to end this. And he's like, yeah, exactly. I want this shit to end. We all want it to end. But I do not want it to lead to any more drama. So you're doing it with a calm and clean mind. That makes me happy. Yeah, I told him how before I do this, I'm going to come at it like as a calm and composed voice as much as possible right now. Again, like I said, what I did was wrong. Many times with Ksenia, what I did was absolutely unjustifiable. It was shitty. And yeah, but look, I'm not going to come begging people to come back or anything. I'm not going to scream. I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to do all this stupid stuff that I've done years ago. No, I'm going to take it on the chin, and act like an actual fucking mature person about this. Like, genuinely. So before I did this whole stream, I did talk with my, social support worker. His name is Harry, by the way. And he's a fucking fantastic guy. I've asked him about this whole thing about what he thinks and what I should do. And this is what he said. He said, if this whole thing has been happening on specifically GameJolt, like this whole like bombshell and exposures happening specifically on there, he recommends that I should just stay away from GameJolt entirely. Because at this point, and I totally agree, there's no point to stay on GameJolt. I'm not going to delete the account because I'm not going to waste years of work. But it honestly feels like the fact that this all started from me simply blocking Gore Striker by accident without even realizing who he was, and then 2 months later only now finding out that who he was after the whole bombshell was dropped. Again, sorry. Again, I could have easily explained this to him. I could have explained this in less than 2 minutes. I could have easily talked about this. And I get it. Look, I'm not really a nice guy when it comes to people saying, hey, did you do this or that? And also because he too blocked me now, he kind of already did the whole job for me in a stupid way. I understand how he wanted to be friends with me, and that's understandable. But the fact that he instigated the whole thing and escalated the whole shit, all because I quote unquote couldn't take a joke seriously when that was not true, and that I blocked him because I thought he was an asshole, which again, that was not true. I thought he was someone else. And then all this, yeah, I understandably don't want to be friends with him now after seeing what he did. Again, like I said, what I did was wrong, and I threw the first punch with a content cop, but the fact that everyone took this, ran with it, believing that's the actual proof of what I did, it's fucking deplorable. Yeah. And it's just, yeah, it's an absolute shitty mess, really. Hey, yeah. So, yeah, that's the whole thing about how it all happened and all that. It's just an absolute fucking shit show. Again, it was my fault, but the fact this whole thing started, this whole drama, this whole bombshell started over a simple mistake. Not the content cop that I made, but the fact that it was all instigated because I accidentally blocked someone by mistake. And that was more than enough to start this whole bomb, like this witch hunt, this, like the absolute bombshell. It's fucking insane. And honestly, I'm horrified to stay on GameJolt. And yeah, again, as stupid and as, as much of a made up stuff it sounds, that is the honest truth. That's my view of the whole thing. I get it. Some of you may not believe it, and that's fine. That is totally fine. If you genuinely do not fucking care about me, that's fine. But I'm not gonna argue, scream. I'm not gonna butt heads with you or anything like that. I'm not gonna do any of that shit because I'm done of having these pointless fights. That's stupid, dumb. Yeah. Again, I'm not saying you should go and attack Gore Striker. Again, he does have valid points about me, but the fact that he started the whole thing and escalated because I just blocked it by mistake. And again, I forgot about him. And then the whole 8-bit Dino saying that I did this art, when again, I blocked him for an entirely different reason. And I didn't see that he actually made the post. I didn't know that he made the whole thing. It's just after all that we've been on our lives thinking about other people's stuff, and yeah. And again, this is the thing, the fact that I've spent 7 years, all this, it felt like it was all for nothing. 7 years I had to go through all this, fight after fight, losing friends after friends, war after war, cycle after cycle of this. This is the last straw. This is the final straw, and I'm done. I'm officially done with having these pointless fights on GameJolt. And yeah, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna leave GameJolt because obviously I feel like at this point I have overstayed my welcome on there. There's just no point to stay on that website and have this constant fight endlessly. GameJolt feels like it feels like the game version of Twitter, basically. The whole Twitter is like a place where there's just pointless arguments. They will fight forever, no matter what. It's just an endless, and it will never stop. Yeah. So this is what I'm doing. I'm stepping away from GameJolt. I'm done with it. I'll still hop on it occasionally, very occasionally, to do all this. And after the stream, a bit later, I will make one last post on it. And after that, after 24 hours, I will turn off the comment and turn off notifications. And that's it. I am leaving GameJolt. And I'm going to say right now, if me leaving GameJolt breaks this cycle, then so be it. I am willing to take that risk if it means ending this cycle for good. As much as I do this, like, it's not funny anymore. It's just sad. Yeah. Again, it's not even funny anymore. I don't enjoy this fights anymore now. Even after the Continent Cup, I don't enjoy this anymore. It's not funny. It's just sad. And it's bad. And again, believe me, I don't want to leave GameJolt because all that progress I made. And look, I'll make this clear now. I'm still going to release the Showdown update eventually on there. But after that, again, I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to update the page, update a few credits here and there. But that's why I hope you'll be back on GameJolt. No. No, again, no, I'm not coming back on there because I just do not feel like it's worth continuing the cycle on there. Again, what I did was wrong. Absolutely. What I did in the past as a dumb, immature teenager, again, absolutely justified. Again, everyone has every right to be mad at me. And I know it may sound very weird how I'm suddenly acting, instead of just yelling or anything like that, it feels weird how I'm doing this suddenly, and I do agree it feels weird. But I cannot stand by and do nothing anymore. I have to really explain this, what is going on, and again, I agree with Joshua. I'm done with this vicious cycle. Again, if people like Saw Washington, Tails, and many others, if you don't want to be friends with me, one thing most said to me is that people will always point out what you did on the past, no matter you do what you do now. So yeah, that's sad. Some people are just losers. And look, again, if you don't want to be friends with me, that is fine. I'm not going to stop you. If you genuinely do not like me, that's fine. That is totally fine. Again, that's fine. But the fact that most of them still have all this stuff from 7 years, and okay, I'm going to make a bit of a fear right now. I want to ask you this, both Ksenia and many others, if you're watching this, I want to ask you this right now. I've heard this same sentence over and over again, saying that I used to think highly of you. Now that I've seen your true colors, you are a piece of shit. And I want you to change for the better. I genuinely do. And I still cared about you. But then seeing you like this, you're a piece of shit. And I've heard that same sentence over and over again. I've heard that same thing during the FNAF 5 fan game days. I heard that during the NR 1 and 2 days, the old days. I've heard that during the FNAF TP days. I've heard that same thing on the DLC Reborn. I've heard that even in the old version of Director's Cut. I've heard that exact same similar phrase of that sentence over and over and over again. Like, it just feels like Stockholm Syndrome of them saying the same thing. And this is the thing I want to ask you right now, genuinely. It's like, why do you say you want me to change, but at the same time, you don't want me to change? A part of me feels like most of them just want me to stay in this same cycle of me being an immature person, just screaming and yelling at people. They want me to stay in this constant state of yelling, retaliating, and still saying like, I wanted you to change. But then when I actually do change, they're like, how dare you try to change? And they drag me back down to the same state of where I am now, of like just yelling and being suicidal. And again, I am a very suicidal person in my life. I've had absolutely awful times. But again, it's not an excuse. It's just an explanation, not an excuse about me being suicidal. But it's just, it's fucking stupid. Oh, okay. I got a message from. I just got a message from one of my friends that's watching the stream. He said, okay. Here's what he said right now. He said, "Hey man, I'm watching your stream right now, and I wanted to ask you this about the whole thing. Do you think that honestly, would you be remembered as a great person on GameJolt, or do you think it's tarnished forever after the whole bombshell?" Okay. All right. That's an interesting question that he just asked me. Okay. If you ask me if I'm going to be honest, I think it's the latter. I think the whole Kane the Hedgehog name is tarnished beyond belief on GameJolt. I think people will forever have this impression of me about this and that. Again, a lot of it is true. Again, I'm not going to deny that. But the fact that, again, they took all this as evidence about me blocking someone when it was a mistake. The fact that they're saying, they spun it into saying that this was the truth, ran with it, and then when the whole thing happened, and then everyone came out of the woodwork to say their shit about me, saying that I'm an awful person, and that, all that. Again, justifiable, I understand, but the fact that it felt so opportunistic. Again, it felt like, yeah, once this thing came out, they're like, finally, we could say our shit about him. And after that, they just fucked off and acted like they never said it. Like, that's how I see it, but that's how I feel about the whole thing, genuinely. And I don't want the stream to take too much longer, but yeah, that I really need to hammer it in. Like, I know it's annoying for me saying this over and over and over again, but again, the fact this all started, the fact that I blocked, yeah, Igor Striker by mistake, and that was enough to instigate the entire thing. It's fucking stupid, honestly. Just, yeah. And I agree, I'm not a good person. I really am not, but it's just, what a shame. What an absolute fucking shame. The waters were already so fucking tainted, and for this to happen, no one is perfect after all. Yeah. It's just, yeah, just again, what a shame. What an absolute shame. Again, it's tarnished beyond belief. Again, it's just, yeah, it is what it is. Again, I'm very happy that you at least understand, even if you don't believe me, that this is not the truth. This is how I saw this. This is how I've seen this. The fact that I'm only now finding out about, you know, Gore just isn't forever. What's going on? Hey man, all right, you might want to go back like an hour and listen to the whole thing. But yeah, again, the fact that this all started from an accidental block, thinking that I thought it was someone else, and this is how it escalated. Yeah, all can change. That's why I usually make judgments based off evidence both sides have to offer. Yeah. And the reason why I was quiet during the whole thing, I was collecting evidence. There were many times that I was almost baited into trying. Yeah, believe me, I wanted to scream. I wanted to yell at them. I wanted to say that, no, this is not true. That's not true. And we love you that much. We love your games. Again, that is so kind of you, but it's just, again, this is a hard thing to say. That's all the things I have to share. It's my childhood, yeah. Another thing I also want to mention too, I forgot to mention about the GameJolt thing. I'm also leaving GameJolt, and I feel like for Discord, I'm thinking about, I'm gonna delete the account and make a new one. I feel like the account just carries so much, you know, bad things, and I feel like maybe having a fresh start on Discord is probably for the best. Make a new account and start fresh. And Ksenia also mentioned in her video about me how she looked back at the past, like looking back at our old comments together and me, all that. Pardon me. I do feel like genuinely, if that's how she feels, like if she really feels that way, I feel like the best thing I should probably do, and which I've already just done, like what was it, hours ago, I've deleted every message between me and her on Discord privately. I just feel like if she can't genuinely move on, like she keeps looking back at that, I feel like maybe it's best that I just delete all the things, the conversations that me and her had in that one account, and, you know, just leave it as it is. I'm on the bus. Oh, okay. Just isn't for her. That's understandable. But yeah, for Ksenia's sake, yeah, I feel like maybe that's the best decision. That's the least nice thing I could do. Sure, they might interpret it as I'm just deleting everything to hide it, but the truth is, I feel like if that's how she feels, it's probably best that I just delete all the conversation that me and her had and just leave it as a deleted user, whatever, honestly. So that's what I'm going to do. I will delete my Discord account and make a new one and start fresh again. I have a request, even if I don't have a reason to, but I'll let you decide if you want it or not. One time I wish to talk with you. What exactly are you requesting? Okay. What else is there? Got a comment right here. Oh, okay. Don't know if you see it. There's a comment up there. They're asking any positive things you want to say about the whole thing between you and her. Me? Well, what was it? I mean, the conversations that we did have with her for the whole, just know Kane has some history that's pretty hard for him to escape, especially when he blocked a certain user. So he's going to leave GameJolt and make a new Discord account, etc. Just for yeah. Thanks for clarifying that, man. I agree. I have a bad history of being all this. Totally. When you have the time, add me on Discord, because all I want to do is have some chats with you. Again, sorry. I just had the word in my mouth and it slipped. Sorry. Okay, while we're at it, before everything happens, I might as well share a few things with Ksenia. Like, one friend actually asked me, is there any genuine good memories I have about her? Well, I do love, like, some of these. Like, the example I can think of is the hog thing, and then hog kaboom. I mean, that's one of the conversations I also like. I also love the, this one where I showed a hedgehog and then she made a Sunky version of her OC. I mean, I like that. Another one was, what was it? And when we found out that Max was exposed, I yelled, "Kill it with fire!" And then we spotted with "Burn it to the ground" of fucking Max. The hog, I know. I mean, yeah, it was funny, genuinely. It was, you know, it was funny. It made me go ha ha ha. And the another thing I want to quickly mention is the bit where she said about how I was yelling about how I feel like she's going to replace me with Boosty. I do feel like I kind of stand corrected after what I did, but yeah, it's just an unrelated note I wanted to mention too. But yeah, I thought I'd mention that. Again, I'm sorry if I missed out a lot of things. Like, there's a lot of stuff to talk about. But yeah, that's the gist of the whole thing I wanted to talk about. And one of my favorites is like this one that I share with her, saying like, what would you do to me or say about me? She says, I'm cute, I'm funny, I'm smart, kind-hearted. It's just, You know, it's funny. Makes me go ha 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 ha. Yeah. Yeah. Again, it was funny. It made me go ha ha ha. Okay, Tails 14XD just told me privately saying that, yeah, after hearing your side, I believe you. It seemed quite overblown. Max art wasn't been made, and that concept cop is repulsive. Wasn't the best idea. I think that you know that by now, but I do believe people can change, and I'll stay. Um, yep, sounds good, and I agree. Again, like I said, and I know I've said this over and over, but again, I want to at least make this clear one last time already. Again, I blocked, again, Gore Striker by mistake. I thought it was someone else. And then 8-bit Dino, I blocked him for an entirely different reason. And then this whole thing escalated when it wasn't like the whole thing is saying I couldn't accept the joke take the joke seriously. That's not true. And then he wanted to be buddies with me when I've only chatted him 4 times. And then the whole thing instigated to what it is now. It's fucking stupid. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry. Anyway, yeah. The fact that it all escalated what it did. Again, like I said, I'm not gonna deny what I did was wrong. I absolutely agree that I was a piece of shit. But the fact that, again, they after the whole exposure all came around, ultimately when it happened, the video about me, how Ksenia's experience about me, the document about me, and the bombshell that all started, the fact that everyone came out of the woodwork, said their stuff about me, and things that were 7 years ago. Again, it's understandable how they feel, and that's fine. I won't hold that against them. But it's just, yeah, it felt so opportunistic to talk about me for the sake of just starting shit. And after all of that, I'm just stepping away from GameJolt because there's just no point. There's no point to stay in this vicious cycle. And again, if leaving GameJolt ends this cycle, then so be it. I'm willing to take that risk if it means ending the cycle. Again, I'm not perfect, and I know maybe at some point in the future I'd probably have another meltdown. I would probably happen again. It's not perfect. Like, I know it's gonna happen again at some point in the future. But at the very least, if at least me saying this, even if you don't believe me, if at the very least, at least hearing my side of the whole thing, yeah, I can hope at very least I can hope I could at least put this to rest once and for all. Again, if you still don't like me on GameJolt, even after all this, that's fine. You can say whatever you want. If you just want to clown on me one last time, that's okay. I won't stop you for it. I'm not going to argue with you. That's fine. If you just want to clown on me, again, that's totally fine. I won't hold that against you. And if you don't want to be friends with me, you do feel like even after all this, you just can't be associated with me, that's fine. I'm not going to scream. I'm not going to cry about it. I'm not going to beg for you to come back. I've done that 2 or 3 times. There won't be, a fourth thing like that. And the whole bit about the, giving me chances, honestly, how I see it, like, I need a second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth chance before I can finally turn my life around. Sure, I know about the whole second chance, but believe me, that this whole thing, again, I need a second, third, fourth, sixth, seventh, eighth chance before I can finally turn my life around. And again, it's not perfect. At the end of this whole thing, like, what can I positively say about this whole thing? Now, a quote from the Act Man, this is a famous quote, and I totally agree with this. His quote is, "I'm a human being. I'm a living human being, and with limited time on this planet, and I don't want to waste what little time I have left eating this garbage." And that's a sentiment I totally agree. Again, it's just all this. I don't want to waste what little time I have left on this world having this pointless, endless, vicious cycle against all of this. As, yeah, that. Sure, it may sound like I'm a coward walking away, but that's the truth. Again, I'm done. Again, I don't want to have this fight. I really live once, enjoy life. Exactly. And I don't want to waste what little time I have left on this planet just having this endless fight. And I get it, if Ksenia doesn't want to be with me, that's fine. If she genuinely does not care, that's okay. But the fact that, again, like, okay, here's the funny thing. A part of me feels like in a parallel universe, if we were never friends and she just stayed as a simple fan, maybe she would have still been around today and she would have, you know, she would. Oh, there we go. Oh, okay. Sorry, the stream just disconnected for a moment. Sorry. Okay. Hey. So yeah, those that have just coming in, again, I recommend go back an hour. Again, it's a long thing, but I definitely recommend watching this. Again, I don't want to waste another 9 hours talking about this, but yeah. So before I end, you know, this stream, that is my side of the story. This is my take of the whole thing about the whole shit. Again, I'm sorry if I can't explain literally everything, like every little detail, but I've explained it as the best I possibly can, like genuinely. Again, if you want to talk about this, like after the stream, I'm happy to just chat about it for a bit, but yeah, or anything, and whatever you feel about me, that's fine. But yeah, after all this, you know, this shit show, yeah, I'm done. Again, just what a shame that this is how it all happened. So, okay, before I end the stream, is there any last things you guys want to talk about? Like, genuinely, is there any last things you want to share? If you just want to fucking clown on me, that's fine. That's totally fine. But if there's anything last things you want to say right now in the next few minutes, then yeah. Yeah. It's, yeah, it's, what a fucking shame. I know it's weird to request, but, let you decide that if I said. Adding you on your new Discord. Yeah, I'm gonna consider it. I might definitely consider once I make a new Discord. And I want to make this the thing, like, say, like, again, I'm sure you're aware I'm not very a talkative type person on Discord. Like, one day on Discord. Oh, frick, hold on. Oh, dear. Oh, hold on. Disconnect. Okay, no. Okay, good. It's all right. It's fine. Okay, yeah. So I'm not really a talkative type person. After the shop, would Nightmare be published, or will you continue it? Yes, I am gonna go back to Nightmare Revive. That's the whole plan. I will finish Showdown. I'm sorry that's taken this long, but after this whole thing, I needed to talk about it. But yes, I will finish Showdown. It's like, what, 95% done at this rate? And okay, like this is another thing I forgot to mention. Like this is the thing that was kind of sad. Like before all this happened, I was actually considering asking Ksenia if she would like to voice the character that's based off her, which is Kestis. I was actually gonna consider asking her to do that. But after all this, I don't think that's gonna happen. So my sister, B, who is Phone Gal in the FNAF 5 fan game rework, who plays Phone Gal, she said she would offer to do Kestis for me if that's the case, my real life sister. But yeah, again, it's kind of an unrelated thing, but that was the thing I did want to quickly mention, that I was actually considering asking Ksenia, like, you know, that if she wanted to voice her character. But after all this and the heartbroken feeling, I don't think that's probably gonna happen. Again, it's not her fault. That's totally fine. That's her. But yeah, it's just, yeah, I'll be waiting for you then. Now I need to go. See ya, man. Okay. I totally agree. I think this is the time that I'd probably end the stream. So any last things you want to quickly say before I end this? Before I end this whole thing? And whatever else you want to believe. Again, if you still believe me or don't want to believe me after all this, again, that's totally fine. Again, I won't hold that against you. You believe you guys do you, and that's fine. But like I said, I'm going to be leaving GameJolt. I'm not going to delete the account. It's only going to be there so prevent people from impersonating me. But I'm not going to delete it. It's just going to stay there as it is. And that's about it. And I'll definitely think about other things, but yeah. So, yeah, is that it? Is that all the things is that everything you guys want to talk about? Is that it? I asked this before and I didn't get any response. But any chance I can get your Discord? Yeah, the new Discord. Yeah, absolutely. I'll definitely talk about the new. Yeah, I gotta go for a few. Yeah. Yeah. Like when I start the new Discord again, it's gonna be a couple of days before I delete the account or start the process of deleting it and then make a new one. So this would be like a long thing, but once I make a new one, I will add you guys. Yeah. But yeah, okay. I feel like we've gone on long enough. I'm happy to show all my stuff. This is my response to the whole thing. And again, I'm sorry. Like I said, I want to make this very clear before I go. I'm really sorry, genuinely. And I know that just saying sorry is not enough. I know that what I did to Ksenia was very hurtful, truly. And that there's no excuse around it. There's no pre-barricading around the bush. What I did was absolutely wrong. And yeah, I'm not going to make an excuse. I totally agree. But it's just an explanation, not an excuse. And again, the whole image about me as Kane, again, I do agree. I feel like it's been tainted beyond belief. It's, again, everyone will forever have this impression of me. Again, a lot of it is true. But after all this has happened, the fact that it all happened by a simple mistake, it all escalated from that mistake, not knowing who the person was, until now I'm finding out about Gore Stryker. Yeah, like I said, just what a shame. What an absolute shame. It's stupid. Yeah, it is what it is. So, okay, I've talked about it enough. So thank you so much for watching this, genuinely. And after this, like, I just want to move on, really. I want to go back and do awesome videos because I don't know if I'll do another live stream after this, like just have a chill stream. If I do, it would probably just be a very, very chill stream, maybe about art or just play a very chill game, maybe TDX or something. Because like I just want to go back and do a second stream. Like I do want to do all this after this stream. But yeah. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. If I do another stream tomorrow of like just doing something very casual, like just have a very quiet and chill day of playing TDX with Tails 13EXE or play some Dante's World with Katie and the others. Yeah, whatever works. If I don't do the second stream, that's okay. But again, I just wanted to get this out there about the whole shit show. So, yeah, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for hearing my side of the story. I really hope that I've really got it out there, like really understand. Again, I'm sorry that I couldn't explain literally everything, but I have done, again, I really did try the best I can to explain the most important things about how this all happened. And yeah, genuinely, thank you for, at the very least, just hearing me out and at least hearing what I have to say. Even if you don't believe me, that's okay. I do appreciate you at least hearing what I have to say, honestly. And that really does mean a lot to me. But again, I'm not going to cry about it. I'm not going to yell or scream. I'm just going to leave it as that. I will take this on the chin and just move on. That's okay. Yep, that's okay. So, again, thanks for watching. And as always, I will see you all in the next stream or video whenever in the future, if I ever do that or not. So, thanks for watching, end. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you for hearing my side of the story.